Want to go far in business and in life? You can't do it alone. The secret is expanding your network of personal relationships, building friendships, connecting on an intimate level, away from the office, over a coffee or cocktail. Welcome to All In with the real Nate Payo. The show that asks what happens when you go all in and leverage the power of your network of personal relationships.
From author Donnie Boivin comes the book, How to Be a Success Champion, available on Amazon. After years of living other people's dreams, author Donnie Boivin decided to jump out on his own and start a business, thinking it would be easy. Instead, he had a rude awakening and quickly understood that he had spent 20 years being an employee and had no idea how to be a business owner. His business was tanking, and he was on the brink of losing everything when he decided to fight for business freedom. In this must-read and life-changing book, author Donnie Boivin shares with readers his story intermingled with lessons learned from his mistakes and his failures. In How to Be a Success Champion, you will find advice the author received from mentors and how he went from zero to a six-figure business. The author walks you through the steps of how to get out of your own way, how to play the game of business and win, find your strengths, how to network effectively, how to build a personal brand, how to create champions for your business, how to get great at sales, how to take complete ownership of you and your business. How to Be a Success Champion from author Donnie Boivin, available on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback editions. Order your copy right now. It makes a great book for corporate events too. How to Be a Success Champion from author Donnie Boivin, available on Amazon.
Hello, and welcome to the All In podcast with Nate Payo. Of course, I am your host, Nate Payo. My guest today is Dale West. Dale is the owner and lead developer of Mad Scientist Web Design, a full-service website development and internet marketing agency. Their multifaceted expertise runs from simple web design to stunning graphics, video production, content, data security, and even offline marketing like radio and direct mail campaigns. Welcome to the show, Dale. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing today?
Not too bad. I always like to know, what got you kind of started down this path of, website internet marketing?
Well, it started as just a hobby, I guess you'd say, 20 years ago. Coding just kind of appealed to me. I like the structure. I like the creativity. I'm not artistic by any means, but I still feel very creative when I build things, even if they're in a mechanical, structured way. A few years back, I was just getting fed up with the career in manufacturing and said, well, why don't I do this as a side hustle?
Mm-hmm.
So I called it Mad Scientist Web Design, did a few sites, and then this past March said, that's it. I'm full time, gave up my past, and I'm all in.
There you go. Where did you kind of figure out that you were able to do this, turn a side hustle into a full-time situation?
I don't know. Just kind of stuck my neck out and no clue what I was doing, where I was going.
Yeah,
just having some fun.
I think that happens. I was talking to somebody recently, and they were talking hey, if you really want to do something big and appropriate, you're going to have to be full time at it. And sometimes we have a career, we're working on a side hustle, and there comes a point where you're I'm not quite making enough of where I need to be on my own, but I can't really devote the time to get over that hump unless I go do my own thing. And then there's that leap of faith that just says hey, you know what, if I push, burn the bridges, push comes to shove, jump off the cliff, I'll figure out a way to do it. And sometimes that's the best way to go about it is just hey,
yeah,
I gotta make it work. Big
Yeah.
leap. Cool. So I usually like to ask my guests right off the bat, what do you think about the word luck? What does luck mean to you? Are people lucky?
Oh yeah. I've got a definition I like. Luck is what happens when preparedness meets opportunity. Opportunities happen along all the time. Can you jump on it? Can you make good use of it? Run with it, take that leap. I've got a funny little story too. I was married a few years back. My wife had a few pet rabbits. And one night, Babette, big old Flemish giant, got out of her cage and let Mario loose. And rabbits do what rabbits do. Mario saw the opportunity, took advantage of it, and we named the offspring Lucky.
There you go. That's what do you call it? Opportunity is preparedness and opportunity. So that's a cool story of taking care of it. So, what you still have the rabbit?
Oh no, that's a former life. That was quite a while ago.
Quite a while ago. Cool. So, talk a little bit about what is Mad Scientist Web Design. What's kind of your forte, your specialty, and what differentiates you from other people out there doing the similar stuff?
Well, I mentioned my former career. I was a tool maker and then an engineer. And engineering is a lot of research and analysis, gathering data, and processes. And you've got to have processes to follow. It can be just a simple checklist. But that all wove into the web design well. I spent those couple of years I was doing as a side hustle researching code. I mean, every line of code had to be investigated and determine what fits what situations like that. And so I call it to myself, this doesn't appeal to most people, but I call it data-driven design.
Mm-hmm.
And having all that research in the past, we focus a lot on data security. I'm proud to say all my websites are maximum security. No, you can't get ransomware attack or anything like that. And then we develop our own programs rather than using off-the-shelf, you have to fit to it kind of solutions. And it's worked out well. We're finding, I love working with small businesses. The little guys, the sole proprietors, the small manufacturers, that sort of thing. And we've had great success so far. We're just starting out, but the future looks very bright.
Exciting. So what kind of appeals to you with working with sole proprietors and smaller companies? Like, why do you think that relationship seems to work out better for you?
Well, when you work with a large corporation, which I did in my former life, it's decision by committee usually.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get 10 people together and they all have to agree, and somebody's got to finally say, okay, we're going to make a decision, we're going to do this. Whereas when you're working with a small outfit, a mom and pop pharmacy or a little machine shop or something like that, you're generally talking to one, maybe two people. You're usually working with the owner of the business. He has a vision. That's what it's about. That's your website, is your way to be heard. What is your vision? Be authentic, be out there. And it's my job to spread that worldwide and get you heard.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like that you were talking about creating these solutions that aren't off the shelf, because on one hand you go, hey, I want to do something, and you're like, okay, well, this is going to be really, really complex. This is me talking to somebody that doesn't know anything about coding or building websites or stuff like that. And you go, I want to do this stuff. And like, so, okay, well, this is off the shelf. And you go, okay, well, you can get me 80% of the way there, but that other 20% is really the 20% that matters. And so because it doesn't do the last 20%, it doesn't do what I need it to do. It's just kind of like a bridge, or then you got to add 5 other things on top of it to make it kind of work. And then you have, you know, 10 things that you don't need to make one thing work, and it's a big pain in the butt. So I think that's something that is interesting and definitely differentiate, because if you have a unique idea and you need a unique solution, you need somebody that can actually build you what you need versus somebody that's like, hey, I don't know how to build stuff, but I know how to cut and paste different apps or whatever they in the back end to make this work. Like, you're going to get exactly what you needed to do. And that's not always easy to find these days, is the solution that you're exactly looking for.
Oh, you're absolutely right about the 20%. That 20%, and it may only be 5%, but that is what distinguishes you from the 100 other people that are doing the same business you are, but you've got to set yourself apart. Why would a customer come to you versus Joe next door that's serving the same pretzels you are?
Mm-hmm. So, coming from an engineering background, what was like some of the challenges you faced learning about being in marketing?
Oh,
because it's like two different, like, typical mindsets almost.
Well, I had seen marketing from my side was the product development. I'd seen the salesmen go out there and bring the prospects to us, the opportunities, and it was the old style of doing business. And that just doesn't cut it anymore. I'm in a sales role now, basically, as the owner of the company, but I am no salesman, believe it. So really, the new style of just trying to be authentic, be yourself, I like to meet people on just a very human level.
Mm-hmm.
Put all the bullshit aside, and just shake a hand and how you doing, and what's your story? How can I help you be heard?
Right.
And that gets into the marketing,
Mm-hmm.
the website. The website's little piece.
I think that's a skill that a lot of people neglect to develop, is just people getting to know people on an individual level and having conversations like that, because it's like, one, it's time consuming and it doesn't always lead to an immediate result, and we're out there trying to build businesses or build something or get sales, and you're like, hey, what do I do to accelerate this? So you don't spend that time making those intimate connections, but those are the ones that matter the most, because you start building them over time and they expand other things, because you have, say you get a group of 5 close people that you're really connected to that do help you out with your business, and they just need to connect you with 1 or 2 other people. And then you've added, 5 to 10 more people, and you keep building that. And over time, all of a sudden your network grows to this tipping point, and you're just building your business basically off of word of mouth and off the strength of your reputation and who you are. And you're able to solve people's problems within your network because you know them intimately, you know what they need. So if hey, I'm building websites, but you need to go, get connected with somebody to buy a fleet of cars, like, I know the right person to connect you to that can help you with your company buying a fleet of vehicles for your business. Like, those are the things that are really powerful. I would call it marketing, because it's still probably the old way is calling networking and relationships. Now it's maybe personal branding instead of reputation, but that's really what it is being the go-to person of being trustworthy with the people you do business with. So I think I always encourage people to go out there and be in front of people in person and they can't be over the phone. They can't be by email. You need to also get in front of people and, like you said, shake their hand, say hi, have a real conversation.
It's all about trust these days. As the younger generations reject the old ways of doing business. And the other thing too, any small business owner will tell you, word of mouth. I mean, that's always been a foundation for growing a small business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, for sure.
The networking, it's that, Oh yeah, my buddy, whom I trust, who's honest with me, not trying to sell me. Yeah, sure. He knows somebody who can set you up with a fleet of vehicles.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to ask you, what does the words all in mean to you? What does it mean to be all in on an idea or an outcome?
Well, you talked about that leap of faith. You really put yourself out there, and you take your resources with you. The support of your family and friends is meaningful if you have that. And I like to say, small business is the toughest job you'll ever love. You gotta go for it. You can't hold back. 90% of businesses fail the first 2 years. And I mentioned too about you've got to set yourself apart, and that just takes gumption. You gotta stick your neck out. You got to screw up a lot, but that's how you learn.
Mm-hmm.
You try things because one guy's formula is not going to be your formula. You just have to try the different things, see what works, and run with it.
Yeah, for sure. Like you talk about a different formula, different, stuff, but everybody has a unique set of circumstances that brought them to this place and time that they're in their life and stuff like that. So you're right. What might work for somebody sort of like you isn't you, and you bring a different set of experiences to the table. So you got to find your own unique formula, which might be a combination of 2 or 3 successful ones. You take what works and leave what doesn't. And, being in small business is definitely a challenge. There's days you don't feel like doing it, but you have to get up and do it anyway. So that's why I think having that why of why you're in it, like you said, it's the hardest job you'll love. You better love it, because if you don't, those days you don't want to get up and do the work, you're not going to get it done. And that's going to, that's probably why a lot of those 90% you talked about fail is people either are in love with the idea of being a small business owner, but not the actual being a business owner, or they lose their love for it, and it becomes something that they don't want to get up and put in the extra effort that they need to do it on the days that they don't feel like doing it. So definitely a good answer there for sure.
Well, what motivates me is I feel like it gives me freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Before we started recording, we talked about. Now I lost my thought. Anyway, I can do what I want, when I want, with whom I want, where I want. That's what the thought was. No day is like the next for me.
Yeah.
I wake up every morning and it's kind of like, okay, I've got this and this and this to do, but what else is going to come at me?
Mm-hmm.
The phone may ring or get the email, somebody knocks on the door. It's like, wow, and this opportunity knocking, I'm prepared.
I love it. Excited to get up and answer the door. My doorbell rings. I'm like, who would ring the doorbell? Like, who's coming to visit me? Nobody should be showing up. It's usually the get a package or something, or maybe a door knocker. Somebody coming by to sell me something I don't need. So very cool. So let's talk about a little bit. You touched briefly. You like working with small businesses, entrepreneurs, sole proprietors. What is really the very detailed type of person you work the best with? Maybe they're type of industry they're in, where you specialize in skills that you really speak their language and they understand. You like when they tell you their vision, you just like it clicks with you.
Well, I'm most comfortable with manufacturers. My former life was in manufacturing, the plastics industry, and I speak their language. I understand a manufacturing product. I have this idea. We need to develop it, design it, patent it, get the capital, build the equipment, the tooling. I understand that whole process. And I mentioned about how the engineering skills that I learned apply to web design. So I like to work with manufacturers. Although half of my business has been just these sole proprietors. Lawyers, pharmacies, manufacturer reps are kind of in between. They're performing a service. They're not really in manufacturing, but working with the small businesses, I feel like I have a bigger impact. You take say a lawyer, a one-person law firm, and they're spending their day writing documents and answering the phone and questions. They don't get out there to do the marketing. They're typically not the personality to do marketing. And I can come in and say, hey, we can get your vision out there, get your name out there in front of as wide audience as you want. Most lawyers are licensed in one state, so we market to one state. But that can make a big impact. And talking about the customized solutions, we kind of automate their office. Do you want people to call you? Do you want them to email you? Do you want them to text you? Do you want them to just book an appointment on your website? Whatever that is, that's what we build into your website for you. So it makes it easy. We get the name out there. We make you unique, make you heard. The clients come, they can instantly contact you, and it just makes their life so much simpler.
Yeah.
And I feel that impact. I see I call them up a few months later. I don't have time right now. It's too busy. Well, damn good.
There you go. It sounds like you kind of got a little niche going there of people that are, I would call it technical, even though maybe lawyers not technical, but I feel like they're in this space where they don't need the flashiest, social media campaigns and it's everything's about like a product driven marketing thing. So you have a professional website that's really there to be technical as much as anything. Like engineering, manufacturing, like, okay, here's the products. What does the product do? What are the people that are going to do it? They're not going to care about hot flashy stuff. They're going to want to know the technical details, how it comes together, why is this a better product than somebody else's, and all this other stuff. So it seems like there's a relationship with that there, and the people that are probably creating these businesses are missing out because they just don't have the time to focus on it. And then you come in, hey, I'm going to automate some of this for you, make it a little bit better, make your life a little easier, and I'll bring in this more business for you. And it's a win-win situation. So cool stuff. So where can people find you if they want to get connected to you and find out what you're up to and see if there's a fit to do business?
Well, the website is madscientistwebdesign.com. I keep the phone by my side round the clock, 682-521-5670, or simply dale@madsciweb.com.
Awesome stuff. So we'll put all that stuff in the show notes. People will be able to get connected to you. And if you reach out, tell Dale where you found him, say hi, see what he's up to, and just have a chit chat. Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show, Dale.
I certainly appreciate you having me.
Make sure to visit our website, therealnatepeo.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, so you'll never miss an episode of All In. While you're at it, if you found value, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if simply tell 2 friends about the show. Looking to connect? You can find Nate Peo on LinkedIn or Instagram.